We're live, folks. We are live. Welcome to the coming apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. We are
We're
live,
live.
and we have a report live from Florida. First, put a shout out for www.mypillow.com. That's right. They won't be sleeping very well tonight in southern Florida. Matter of fact, the entire state is going to be inundated the next 36 to 48 hours. Fort Myers is underwater. Marco Island underwater. Some of the other smaller islands underwater. But if you go to www.mypillow.com/Paul, use the promo code Paul, you can order some soft pillows, and maybe you should, to send to people or have them to send to their delivery to their location. Mike Lindell does a great job. He's a good Christian man, support of our ministry. And I just want to say right now, get the great deals on bed sheets, towels, pillows. If you're going to help out some of your family members and friends down in Florida, one way to do it would be to purchase them some brand new sheets, towels, pillows from www.mypillow.com. That's mypillow.com/Paul, promo code Paul. All right. They'll be happy you did that. And what a time we're in. Okay, let's go now. We've got live with us right now is Israel Hall, live from Florida. Israel, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Pastor Paul, we're doing good. We've still got power right now, and we're just sort of getting the outer bands up here in the villages.
You know, I'm looking at your situation here, and I see the wind and some rain. You're just now starting to get this thing, and I don't know if you've seen what's happened to Fort Myers. It's underwater.
Yeah, it's bad.
And
it's real bad.
We've been on the phone with my sister, who has COVID. She's so sick. And so she couldn't leave, and she just stayed home. Her and her husband are riding out the storm. It's brutal, but they're inland enough that they're not going to get the storm surge. But what I understand, Israel, the storm surge is 18 feet.
They said it's going to be up to 18 feet, and I've seen pictures of people with second-story houses that it was almost up past their second story down on the beach.
Wow. So everybody's pretty well batten down the hatch and are preparing up there in the villages in Florida. Am I right?
Right. Yep. Yeah, the streets are empty. Nobody's really driving. I mean, we've been kind of told to shelter in place because you don't know what can happen. You know, the thing could steer or whatever. If we had the trajectory that it said yesterday, like yesterday early, we would be in big trouble right now. But with it going to the east a little bit, it's a little better outcome for us in this area. So,
now, are you concerned? Is there any concerns? I mean, because you're not going to be probably in the eye of the storm, we don't think. Maybe the eye of the storm is going to miss the villages by 15 miles or 20 miles, maybe.
So the main thing that I've seen that we're going to be concerned for is obviously flooding, tornadoes, and power outages. The Florida Power basically said there's going to be a lot of infrastructure that's permanently damaged that they're going to have to replace, which could take days to weeks. And what happens is with a lot of power, it goes down the line and it kills other things. So they said that it's not just where the hurricane came on land, it's not where the eye is, but all the way down the path, all the way through Florida where this thing goes, there's going to be massive power outages.
So throughout the night, do you anticipate, I mean, right now it's 7:37 p.m. Eastern, how do you think things will be, let's say at midnight or 2 in the morning?
I don't really know because this just started picking up. We'll have like a little bit of gust of wind come in and a little bit of rain, and then it'll sort of get quiet for a few minutes and then come back. So it's starting to pick up now. I'd say probably by the middle of the night, this thing's going to be rocking and rolling. I mean, they said that we're still supposed to be getting 40, 50 mile an hour winds, which is nothing to sneeze at. But we get that a lot here, different times of the year anyways in the villages. Certainly much better than, 100-degree gusts that they're getting where the eye is right now.
The villages have pretty good. I mean, if anybody's got good infrastructure, it's the villages. I mean,
and a lot of our power's underground too. But again, if transformers and things like that get blown up, anything's possible. I mean, we've had our power go out on a clear sunny day.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to get hairy here pretty soon. I mean, it's just now starting in.
Now you've got the satellite phone activated. I see.
So I've got the Steve Quayle satellite phone. Kristen, can you go get me the satellite phone real quick? Can we do a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? You want to do a free commercial?
Yeah.
Steve Quayle, why not?
Yeah, we should. I mean, that thing is really, it's right there. It's charging in the middle of the night.
I have a satellite phone, folks, in my house, and Israel went in and
Not
got the
anymore. It's mine.
it's yours now.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, Pastor Paul.
Yeah, you need it worse than I do. So yeah, okay. If you lose power, if you lose power, you will still be able to talk to us by satellite phone.
Possibly. You do kind of have to have a view of the sky. So if it's an insane storm, you can't. But I can get close to a window or get in my car. It just depends how it's going. But yeah, I've got the Steve Quayle satellite phone right here.
Awesome.
And it's just a good peace of mind knowing that I have this in a storm, because if the cell towers go down, if there's sabotage, the thing I'm worried about is nation-state actors and sabotage. I mean, we're kind of basically almost in the middle of World War III right now.
Right.
And there's a lot of assets down in Cuba and Venezuela, and I just don't want to see anybody take advantage of our situation.
If the power goes out and you got good lights on right now, we can see you very well. Great job with the camera.
That's my camera light.
Yeah, it's really good. If the power goes down but your cell phones are still on, would we be able to go live?
Yeah. If I've got data and everything, we'll still go live. I'm going to keep this charged. I'm going to put my camera and my lights and everything on a charger right now and have them ready to go.
Because I think tonight we'll probably be getting a hold of you, or you'll be getting a hold of us, and we can go live real quickly here from my basement here, and in Indiana, we can hook up with you real quick if you're able to.
Absolutely.
It's so everybody in the villages are home. Like you said, everybody is batten down the hatch because tornadoes. I mean, throughout the night, there is a danger of higher winds, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, a lot of rain, and even tornadoes could spin off this thing. Is that right?
All over the state. They've already had some tornadoes, but the tornadic activity is very highly likely. And we kind of have problems with that time to time anyways, little microbursts and stuff. Pastor Paul, you keep talking about the seas and the waves roaring. I mean, Jesus talked about this in the last days. Pakistan just went through the worst floods that we've ever seen. I've ever seen personally in my life on TV. We just actually raised some money for a pastor down there in a ministry 2 weeks ago. And they're going through massive flooding and storms. So anything is possible. I mean, this storm could turn back this way and hit the villages dead on. We don't know. I mean, we go by what we think the computers are saying, but bottom line is, just like a tornado, it can all of a sudden change course. It can destroy one house, and a house across the street is totally fine. Not even a leaf has moved, So who knows? But we'll be keeping you guys updated. This is definitely going to get more intense up here. But if we were along the coastline, if we were in Fort Myers, if we were in Sarasota or Bradenton or Tampa or anything like that, we would have got out.
Yeah.
I told Kristen that several days ago. We would have gotten out. But I feel a lot safer here, 60 miles inland. We're not going to have the ocean or the Gulf coming in at us.
Right. My sister, even, who lives in Fort Myers, and she has COVID, so she stayed in place, but she's about 15 miles from the coast. So, she's not worried about what you would call the storm surge. That's not going to get to her.
Right.
But
they'll still be flooding.
But she's dealing with 120 mile an hour winds and rain. I mean, the danger they have there is roof damage, power outages, and that kind of thing. Massive rain, which can bring flooding as well,
Yeah, and that's what they're talking about for Orlando. I mean, Orlando is obviously as well kind of in Central Florida, and they said they're going to have record flooding, absolute record flooding in Orlando.
Because of the rain, because of the amount of inches coming.
Yes, and Orlando International is closed until Friday mid-morning or later. So
you talked about Bible prophecy, Israel, and the sea and the waves will be roaring. Do you think sometimes when we look at things, do you think sometimes we just don't recognize? My dad was saying this a couple minutes before I came on the air here. He said, "You see what's happening down there?" He said, "That's going to be happening everywhere. Maybe not a hurricane, but one place a hurricane, another place a massive earthquake, another place a volcano eruption, somewhere else tornadoes. Get ready for the apocalyptic events that's coming." How do you feel about that?
I absolutely feel that's correct. There's a lot of things going on that people are just ignoring as coincidence. I mean, you wonder how the Sanhedrin and people missed the Messiah. How did they miss Jesus? Look what was going on. Look at the miracles he was doing, and yet they still missed the Messiah. We could miss things today. We could miss prophecies. We could miss the second coming of the Messiah if we're not careful. And these things that we're seeing as Christians that study the Bible and study the Word and prophecy, we know that this is part of the last days. And it's happening at the same time that everything else is happening. possibly Revelation 9/11 that you are
Yep.
that you did a documentary on and writing a book about. The Sixth Trumpet War. You've
Yep.
got Ezekiel 38. All of
Yes.
these things happening at the same time. A New World religion rising up. We know with the Abrahamic faiths in the Middle East. All of these things are happening at the same time. The armies are gathering in Syria. Things that have never happened at all in the history of the world are happening now at the same time, just like the Bible says. I mean, I think you'd have to have more faith to not believe that this was going on and this was Bible prophecy than to believe it.
And Israel, as we're talking about this here, folks, the reality, Israel's standing there outside, live, reporting from the villages in Florida. The rain is starting there. The winds have begun. People are asking, how much will your beard weigh if it's wet? Is that a good question?
I never thought about that, but if I start to get a headache, I'll know why.
Yeah, pulling too much foot. So I'm asking you a question now, Israel, and we will let you go. We don't want you to stand there and get too wet. You got a nice.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're good to go. You got the satellite phone. You got the generator.
Yep.
You got the batteries everything's being charged up. I mean, you're good to go. Are you kind of on call for some of the elderly members of our church in case they get in a jam?
I am. I told the director of our emergency response team to please let me know if there's someone that needs, somebody young, strong, and half able to go and get him out of a jam or anything. And we have the church phone with us, and so far we haven't heard anything. And obviously, we don't really have the storm fully here yet. So
right.
It'll be if the power goes out, then it's gonna be a different story. If people start needing food, and here's going to be the interesting thing. The part that I'm concerned about is that we could have power out for many days or a week if they're building infrastructure. So that's what I would be concerned about, like food going bad in the freezer and things like that. So that's what we're hoping doesn't happen, is that we don't have a bunch of transformers blow up or different things. There was already several fires down in, I think, Sarasota and Fort Myers, where there were power lines going down and blowing up. I think 3 fires.
Wow.
So, I mean, that, you're talking about down power lines in water when you're standing in it. That is not good.
No.
All kinds of stuff.
No. Well, I'll tell you something, Israel. We really appreciate what you're doing. I'm probably going to touch base with you. I'll be by phone, by text.
Or satellite.
Or satellite. You get a hold of me if this thing starts to really intensify, and I'll walk in here and fire this thing up, and we'll connect and make it happen for the people to stay on top of what's going on. I'm praying. I've really been praying the whole time for the entire state of Florida. I think Ron DeSantis is on top of the thing, on what's going on. Seems like a lot of the Congress people. How do you feel about Ron DeSantis as governor?
I think he's amazing, and I think that the political opponents are going to try to crucify him with this right before the election. They're going to be using this against him, any kind of response that he gives, because no matter what happens in these storms, there's loss of life, loss of property,
Right.
loss of value of things, money. A lot of money has to get spent to put things back the way they were, and they always, no matter who's in office, that you take some of the blame for whatever happens. So you can be bet that it's going to be made into political fodder at some point.
Unbelievable
But he's doing a great job. He's doing great.
Absolutely. And it's unbelievable to me that we would have that type of mentality in this country. But you know what? This is such a politically charged country that, that's the way people act and the way they are. But it sounds like I think the apocalypse has come to Florida. I've just said that start this broadcast.
Well,
it has hit Fort Myers at least.
If you stay grounded in the word, you won't get politically charged.
Israel Hall, folks, live from the villages in Florida, on the literally reporting live with the satellite phone from Steve Quayle, and we really appreciate everything you're doing, and you and Kristen both. So thank you guys. You're in our prayers. Stay dry, stay
Yep.
safe, and we'll pray that the power stays on.
Will do. Thanks, Pastor Paul.
Thank you. And folks, there you have it. Israel Hall on top of things, and I appreciate what he's doing, because I tell you something, we're living in the days that the Bible said that we would see these absolute insane situations developing, and we're seeing it right now in Florida. It's going to be a long night for the Floridians, no question about that. And it's not over as this night goes on, which will be a long night all across the state into tomorrow morning and into tomorrow. once this thing gets across the state, it will then hit the waters again in the Atlantic Ocean, and then it'll be on its way toward northern Georgia and South Carolina. So it's not over. So God bless all of you. Thank you guys for jumping in. Appreciate all of it. And we will keep you up to speed as we go forward and throughout the night. So God bless all of you. Keep praying. Keep praying. Are you serious?